My husband traveled. The kids had gone to school. I was home. I was so dejected. I started saying to myself, jokes, I'm not lying. I was in Yoruba, I was like, Toyin, shori ota e buru ni. Loud. Like, why is this so hard for you? Are you cursed? What's going on? Why do you have a roller coaster? Why do you have a
Yeah.
start, stop over this career? So I started packing those awards on the wall. I started packing them. So my friend called me. She would typically call to check up on me and the search. And she called me, she was like, what's going on? I was like, all these things are useless. I'm not this girl. It's a lie. I started saying negative words.
Wow.
And she was like, do I need to buy you a ticket and start coming?
No judgment here, just a friendly ear tune. And every day bring your worries near. Life count show, let the heartbeats flow. With Feyi, we heal and grow. Life on the couch, with Feyi. Talk it all out, set your mind free. Life on the couch, stories we share. Feyi.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Life Couch with Feyi. Here we talk about things that happen to the everyday people with the aim that someone out there can relate with the story that we're talking about or the story that we're telling, to make you know that there is hope, there is light at the end of the tunnel. It doesn't matter what you're going through. It doesn't matter. It doesn't define you. Remember, this is a no judgment zone. Know that you can always get out of that thing. There's victory at the end of the day. All right, today we have a very bubbly, beautiful, brainy, what other B thing? Bold lady here on set. And I am looking forward to the conversation that we have today. Her name is Toyin. If you're in Calgary, you might be wondering which Toyin are we talking about. But then I'll allow you
Okay.
introduce yourself. Hi, Toyin.
Hi, Feyi. I'm glad to be here. My name is Toyin Olamileyin. Okay. What do I do? I'm a lawyer by profession. During the week, I'm serious-minded. I try to be. Other days, I love to be outside when the weather permits, or I just love to honor people. So
But are
you
you
see
sure
me
it's
in
when
many
the
places.
weather permits?
Okay,
I
every
don't
time.
trust that one.
Okay, so the people call me, even though there's no money that comes with it, minister without cabinet. They call me minister of enjoyment because
Wow.
I
Wow.
believe in my favorite slogan is enjoyment is for the living. Like just
Right?
do what you like, enjoy yourself. So I'm very big on doing things that make you happy. I'm married. I have two wonderful kids. I love cooking. I believe I can sing in my previous world, and I love dancing. So yeah, pretty
I've heard
much.
you sing this evening and you don't sound bad.
No, I try. I try.
So have you ever been in a choir or anything?
Yes. Growing up, I was in the choir. When I was living in Norway, I was in the choir.
Oh, wow.
I can sing. I think so. And my favorite position in church actually here is close to the choir. If
Choir.
you're looking for me in church, you send me closer to them because I love being around the.
And that's why if you see her on Instagram, go and find her. Her name is Toybibs.
Toy Bibs.
Toy
Yeah.
Bibs. And every day there's a post about her dancing. I like the spirit. Like, I just like when you can. It doesn't mean you're not going through stuff. It just means that's the outlook. That's your outlook. That's how you want to be. They say happiness is a choice, right?
It is.
So, thank you so much. I am looking forward to what we're like. I'm saying it again because I know this will be an interesting one. And one thing that I want to say is this lady is very brilliant.
I try.
She finished from University of Ife in Nigeria.
We call it
OAU.
our time it became Obafemi Awolowo University.
Okay, I
Great
thought it was
Ife.
this or that. So you don't do University of
I
Ife.
think the older generation they had it
Oh.
as University of Ife,
Okay.
but in our time we had it
Obafemi.
Obafemi, and I think it's still called Obafemi Awolowo University. Yeah.
Okay, and that's one of the best schools.
Yes.
After
Great
Unilag.
Ife. No, Great Ife.
After Unilag, this is it. So we allow them come. Ife and Ibadan, they try, but we allow you guys.
We're not gonna start that conversation today.
Anyways, she finished with a first class in law. Isn't that something? That's something that means that head is smoking.
Okay.
I see the smoke from here.
Yeah.
And today, we'll just be talking about her career journey. Sometimes you're in school, you have studied, you're like, oh my God, this is all I want to do. And you come out tops and you're like, right after I'll get a job or things will be easy for me. Sometimes it doesn't come out that way. How do you navigate life? What do you do? And just like we said, if you can relate to this story, it doesn't have to be academics. It could be anything that you're
That's
doing. You
true.
have expectations. If they don't come out the way you expect them to, what do you do? Now let's listen to Toyin. So tell us about your childhood and how you, why did you choose OAU or Bafemi Awolowo University? Why?
To be honest, I grew up in Lagos, Akoka, actually.
Really? And
Very
you
close
left
to Unilag.
Akoka and went to,
I went to Chapel of Christ Light Unilag all my
for
life.
reals?
I used to work from, St. Finbar's Road, the Tech
course.
Circle filling
I lived
station.
in Folagoro.
Exactly. I lived at the Federal College of Education staff quarters, right? So I always wanted to go to Unilag. Actually, I
Wow.
actually got admission to study law,
Why didn't
but
you?
then I didn't pass maths. Unilag would drop you if you don't have a credit in maths. So yeah,
Wow.
I don't know
Wow.
maths. Even to
Wow.
today, my kids
Wow.
say that my mommy is poor in maths. So yeah, that's how Ife came about
Okay.
actually. So when I
Okay.
couldn't get into Unilag, I tried Ife and started off in philosophy actually because my set in Ife they merged two jam sets. So I started off in philosophy, then I did another jam just to be able to get into
To
law,
law.
and then I was fortunate and I got into law, and that's how the journey to becoming a lawyer began. And
Okay.
yeah,
Wow. And how did you find? I don't know. I feel like we lived close to each other because I grew up
right, very
in
close to me.
Folagoro. My dad worked in Unilag,
Oh,
so staff school, primary school. My brothers were in
everything
secondary school,
nice.
Unilag. I was back there for university. I feel like we were like really
Oh,
close.
but that's true because I had friends living in Folagoro. I used to go
Yeah.
to their church. There was a Baptist church somewhere
Yeah,
there.
somewhere
Yeah.
at the back. Yeah.
Everybody,
True.
I went to
True.
lesson at chemist,
yes.
Folagoro. There's
I
just
went to lesson chemist. What's the name of that lesson?
I forgot it.
Even me.
So I feel like we grew up so close. You see,
Around
it's
the
such a
wow,
small world.
can you
But
imagine?
we could have
Can
been
you
in
imagine?
Unilag
I
together, but I'm
know.
glad I went to Ife because, I feel like
I
God-
won't start that today. I
God
won't start
destined
that
it to be
today.
that way. And
Okay.
that's how I got into Ife when Unilag didn't
Okay.
come through because of the
I know.
lack of credit in maths. So I had to go to Ife. Ife permits you to have a pass in maths, and then
Allows you
you
to
could
do
get
law.
into law. Yeah, and that's how
That's good.
I started studying law.
Okay. So, what was your expectation after graduating with a first class? And you can even tell us a little bit about how you were in school. What was school about?
So when I was going, so my dad of blessed memory was a lecturer. So when I went to Ife, at that time I was very naive. I didn't even know what first class was. I just knew that I didn't want to go far away from home. I grew up always being around them. That's why from Queen's College.
So you did go to
From
Queen's.
I went to Yaba Tech Staff School, then to Queen's College, then I wanted Unilag because I just wanted to be on. But then situation happened and I found myself in Ife and I felt alone. I remember my mommy followed me to school. I was crying, But anyways, but when I went to school, I think for me, I've just always been focused from an academic perspective. So, okay, I'm in school. I want to study law. I'm studying law now. And I was just busy with my academics. And so just doing my own thing. And I remembered that in second year, is it second year now? Yeah, first year you pick courses in other department like general studies, right? And
Okay.
I remember that one of the courses I did, English, I felt like I didn't do well in the exam. So that year they were pasting results on the board and I refused to go
Look.
check it because I was so afraid I was gonna fail. And that was second year. Nobody knew anybody in law. And I just remember that the guy in chat, the course advisor, was looking for me, but nobody knew me. And then maybe someone found me working one day and said, "Oh, are you Toyin Big Bami?" I said yes, and I went into the office, and that was how I knew that I was topping the class. It wasn't a
Wow.
first class at that point, and I was shocked. So it's just, I think for me, it was just, some people go into university and say, "Oh, I want to make first class. I want to top." But I went in because I was just focused on my academics, and then because I was working hard, I got to be the top
Top.
student at
You were
that time. It wasn't,
acing those courses.
yeah, but I didn't know because I was so afraid. And then, "Oh, you, where have you been?" And that's how the journey started. And
Wow.
through that, I was like, "Oh, I'm very close to a first class," and I started working towards it. And it was not it was not all rosy because my class, remember that I said two jam sets were merged, were over 300.
300.
So it was very competitive. There were many people that knew what they wanted. There were many people that were coming for their second degree, so they wanted, and then there was just this 17 years old girl topping the class. What's going on? So I started working towards it because I got encouragement from my parents. And then third year, I met my husband now, and I couldn't even calculate CGPA. I didn't know what it means to get there. I was just doing my
For
thing.
reals?
Yeah, and he told me, "Oh, if you could get A in this, A in this, it's four."
It'll help you.
And then it was very helpful with that. So, and then I graduated. But my expectation, was like, "Oh, I was working so hard and I made this first class, like my career was sorted, everything up until that point, working hard was just, when I work hard, I get see the result. When I work hard, I see the, so leaving school, good. I went to Nigerian law school, got a good law firm, and
For
everything.
internship or
Yeah,
what's
for
it
what we
called?
call NYC, and
Okay.
then whilst you were getting, after you get called, you go do, and then I put in for my masters, and I wanted to go do my masters in law, and then I went to the Harvard Law School. So my life was smooth up on, I want this. I got Harvard. I got Cambridge. I was confused.
Wow.
Which
That's
do I
cool.
go? Everybody said do both. My father said do one. It
So
was
which
all
did you
good
do?
problems. I did Harvard Law School, so I did my
Nice.
masters in law. So I
Nice.
had a big picture. My life should be smooth, but everything was okay in Nigeria. But when I left the shores of Nigeria, that was when the challenges
Wow.
started. Went to do my masters in the US. After my masters, everyone like, "Stay and
How
see
long
if-"
was the master's
It was a
program?
year. Like
Okay.
masters in law is like a year. People say, "Oh, stay to see if you get a job." I was in the US. It was not easy. Paper, like getting immigration status, and I'm like, one day I just stood up like, "No, I'm wanted back home," and I went back home and I started working, and I got a very good law firm. So from a Nigerian perspective, things
It
were
was good.
okay career wise. And then I got married, and my husband said, "Don't bother coming. You can still keep your career." But after a while, I got tired of people asking me, "Where's your husband? You this girl, you are doing career over your. And then I went to Norway, and
Oh, he
Norway.
was in Norway.
Yes, he
Okay.
went to do his masters in Norway, and he was
Okay.
working in Norway. And I got there, and it became very tough. That was the reality for me. Like,
Wow.
okay,
Wow.
this academically sound girl, this girl that thought life would be easy, now I'm trying to find even an administration job, right?
Wow.
There was the language barrier. They speak Norwegian. I don't speak Norwegian. I did common law. It was civil law. So many things were just so many things to the orders were. I'm like, where do I
Too
start
many.
from? How do I learn the language of the law in Norwegian? How do I learn Norwegian?
I
And
know.
I tried to get some admin jobs I did, but it was very tough. And nowadays a lot of people are aware of what it means to be depressed. I'm talking about year 2013. I'm sure I was, but I didn't just, now we are more aware of our mental health. We are more aware of what's going on with us.
You
There's
didn't
more
realize
awareness.
it.
But I'm sure that was what was good because I was very sad, and I started
Did you
losing
have kids?
confidence. No, at
No,
that
okay.
time, at the beginning, not yet.
Okay.
And I was very sad. My husband's career was growing, and then sometimes when he comes home, I'll be like, and he does something, I just flip, and I'm like, it's not your fault, it's because your career. Because for me, my career was, I was very ambitious.
Wow.
You know, the girl from Ife saw the big picture, wanted to be
And then
this
you
in
see what your
future.
mates are doing.
Yeah, that story, we're gonna get there. And then this girl, and everyone like, oh, Toyin Big Man, me first class, what's she doing? So one thing I want to say before we get too deep is when you're going through, right? Just to tell, when you're going through, you need to do what you need to do to keep yourself sane. If you know that you have set of friends or you have people that would ask you, what are you now doing? And you know it would make you more, it will worsen your situation already, how you feel defeated. You know,
Stay
take
away.
time off. Take, and that was one thing I did. I didn't join any secondary school or university WhatsApp group because they know who Tony Big Bami is. And people were gonna ask
They have expectations.
they have expectations. Whoa, this girl is supposed to be doing much more, but then, and then I got pregnant. But whilst I was there, I was asking myself, what can I do? And that's one thing. Like when we go through things, I think Norway, the experience was the toughest in my career for me, and I was in Norway, give or take between 3 years to 4 years.
Wow,
Like
that's
I was
a
going,
long time.
yeah, for someone that was young, fresh out of school, wanted to do more, right? So I started losing confidence in myself. I started saying, this is not the life I wanted. I was saucy to my husband. Times that he would say something, I'll be like, it's because this guy has a job. Because career was very important to
Important to
me.
you.
Like I was very ambitious, and but I got a distraction, good distraction. I got pregnant, so so that
And that was
distracted me.
exciting,
That was exciting. So when I had Sophia, I would take her, start taking a picture. I was still, you know, trying to find what I could do, and then I heard about the Canadian immigration, the we
Okay.
call it further skilled worker
Yep.
then. Feyi, I did it 3 times. So, you know, I did it 3 times. The first time they bounced it back. The second time they bounced it because it was full. You send it to paper,
Yeah,
then you
yep.
do paper. And the third time was when it worked. And anyways, my husband got a job in the US, went to US. From US, we came into Canada. So coming into Canada, because the story is long, we can't use every day. We can use hours together. And then I came into Canada. Finally, I'm in Canada. And when I came in, my focus was, oh, I need to do my licensing. I need to fulfill my licensing requirements to become a lawyer, because all I wanted to do was be a lawyer. And all this, so thinking from Norway, start counting the years I was losing, and I was having what we call career delay. I say something to friends now. I said, and I think I said it to you, Feyi, the other day, that I may not have stories to tell you about areas of life, because just like you said earlier on, we go through things, different things. You know, some people health challenges, some people marital, some people whatever it
Yeah.
is. But then I can tell you a lot about career from a perspective of someone that was doing so well. I did all I needed to do, and then the results were not matching all the
Your
efforts
efforts.
that I put into, you know. So, but I, you know, in all of that, I'm like, I can't give up.
Yeah.
I can give up. It's tough. It's like every time you go, you're meeting another challenge. And I'm
obstacle.
like, up until that time, everything was working well. And I'm like, what's going on? Was the academic excellence, was it
A
fluke?
fluke.
Am I
And that's your
really,
confidence.
am I really brilliant? Or it was just because,
Yeah.
in fact, sometimes I'll say, maybe because I can cram. That's why I got those, you know, best students. I got, you know, when you go to my house now, you see like 10
I think
flags,
I've
awards.
seen
You know,
something
I
on
got all
Instagram.
the awards.
I need
I
to come
cleared all
visit.
the awards, and you know, those things were in your face. You have the evidence, but then the corresponding
So,
results.
quick question. Those awards were all from Nigeria? From
Yes,
school?
from Obafemi Awolowo University
Wow.
on graduation day. So I came here and I'm like, okay, I want to focus, get quickly, you know, get what I need to do to get into the legal system, and did all my exams. Then another problem started. How do I break into the legal system?
Like find a job, or what
Yeah,
do you
find a
mean?
job as a lawyer. It
Okay.
was in 2015, 2016, 17 when we were doing that. It was hard, you know, and I delved into other things. Like I used my law skills I did customer service for a few months. I did, what do they call it? It's not legal admin. It's executive assistant.
Okay.
just I did contract management. I've done, yeah, just because I realized that one thing about me is that every time I do not get that lot I really wanted, I couldn't sit still and not do anything. I just had to find something to fill the
Else,
gap.
yeah.
And it didn't make me happy that I can't actually be that girl from age 16 that wanted to be the general counsel in a company. That picture was fading.
Wow.
It wasn't.
Wow.
So for me, I think at that point, I started losing that over ambition. Like many people see me now from the girl in Ife versus now, and they're like, this Toyin is too playful versus the Toyin we knew. Like,
So then it was like an efiko thing.
Yeah.
Efiko means someone whose head is constantly buried in her books.
yeah. And now
So
you
you
hear,
had no social.
I do not believe so. I think it was more from do my classes. I just go to church every Sunday. I think I'm still like that. Sorry, no judgment here.
No worries.
Anyways, so I think it was more of my academics, eat, sleep, repeat, and then, but coming here, trying so hard to break even from a career perspective, and it was not working. Waiting, even all the stories of all these things I did, there was delays, you would be back in the job market, you'd be back in again. It was just so much roller coaster. And I started losing that ambition to be that girl that saw the big picture from way back. And one thing though is so coming to maybe things are learned through the process. Up until the time I started facing those challenges, everything was always smooth, and coming now, it taught me to be still, sit down. I could not
Introspect.
relate. I could not relate with why am I being delayed? Why am I applying and I'm getting rejections? Why is someone questioning my intelligence? Is this not the Toyin that is the same Toyin? What's going on? I couldn't understand what was going on. Maybe is it spiritual? My village people after me.
know.
But then I kept going on. I kept going on, and it's been a journey coming here. But one thing is, I kept going on. I was pushing. I was resilient. It was tough. I'm a cry baby. I will cry. But one thing is, many of us, when we're going through stuff, we try to think or we believe that being vulnerable is a weakness. It is not. One thing I say though, because I understand people's experiences with friendships, with betrayals from friends or family, is to find solid people. You can't do life alone, whatever you're going through. Thinking through everything, it was tough because this was a girl that had everything perfect from a career perspective, and she was having troubles just standing up, and it just didn't make sense. So, what do you do in those situations to help yourself? You just need to find support systems, solid people. It's hard. Some people say, I can't trust people. No, you can't do life alone. You just
I
must,
know, right?
through the help of God, find people that can be there for you, people that can encourage you,
Yeah.
people that tell you that, oh, Toyin,
I know you
you're
know.
still you. You were brilliant, And those moments, people will say, oh, that advice you gave me or that thing you said legally, oh my, yeah, more, we got that girl is brilliant. I'm like, in my mind, the voices when you're going through life, external voices are there. Like you could have a boss that could speak to you, and I'm coming to that because I then worked. I've worked in toxic environment. I've worked in places where I was a superstar. So even when I overcame the challenge of finding jobs. I've worked in places that in Calgary here that you feel like you don't know anything, you're a dummy. I've had one of my bosses, one person I've worked with as a manager told me that I was what's the word she used? I can't remember. like someone that was shy. I can't remember. I'll try and remember before we finish. She used the term, I'm timid. Yes. And now when I said that to my colleagues at work the other day, like, this Toyin is not timid. But there's a way people would may pull you down or speak down on you that you don't believe in yourself again. I
Sure.
was very confident coming out of Nigeria, coming out of law school, coming out of Harvard Law School. But I started losing it. I started doubting my abilities
Yeah.
because of the external things that were going on from a career perspective.
Yeah. I'll just chip in something here and something for you out there. Um, See your, what do we say? Is it pedigree we say now? But see your bio. First class, then Harvard. Is it easy? Point I'm making is that life can show you, like, it can put you in a place where you begin to doubt who you are. And one thing is, I did a talk this week for aging women, confidence as we age. And one thing I said is we need to remind ourselves, it's me, the same me that aced this, the same me that was the best in my class. We need to do a lot of introspecting, self-talk. Talk to yourself, think about it. I like the way what you were saying, that you sit down and say, okay, what is wrong? I know sometimes where we're from, it's easy to say somebody from my village or whatever, but sit down and put that aside for a second and say, what can I do? What am I doing? What can I do differently? When I came here, I had to learn some simple things. Like when you're sending out your resume and you're not getting called, there's something wrong with your resume. If you're getting called and you're not moving further, then you need to improve your interview skills.
Yes, that's
So
very
those
important.
are like some things you not sit down and talk to yourself. It's me. When you said you worked at a very toxic environment, I was talking about that this week too. I was like, there's a place I worked and I think I was hired along with somebody else, and I saw the difference in how, of course, my
Treatment.
color and how people would go. We started about the same time. They would go find out how she is, but me,
Nobody
I had to
cares.
tell myself, Feyi, be your own person. They don't come to you. It doesn't validate you. You know who
That's
you
true.
are. You
You
know
need to
what you
speak
can
to
do.
yourself.
Do you understand? And I like that I know it's not easy sometimes. And you say you cry. I could cry, tears inside this Canada. People think you're out of there and you're here and things are the struggle and the things that we've been through.
Yeah.
I don't know. So how did you get your first job here in Canada? So
My,
you wrote the exam. I know that one is not an easy feat as well.
yeah. So law job now, you mean? So
Law, yeah.
it took me a while, Faye. After I got called
Tuba.
to
Yeah,
bar,
okay.
the law firm I was with, and I had God bless people that refer. Like I have to say this. Most of my jobs here have been people speaking about me in rooms that I was not. So for
Wow.
everyone that's spoken about me where I was not, you know yourselves. Thank you again.
Thank you. I say
it
thank
makes
you as well.
it makes a world of difference to have people that believe in you and could root for you even when you were not there.
Wow.
I didn't get, so I got my articling was even tough. Articling is what you do to even get called. So that's another. You have to search to find a law firm or a company. It's just like what we call IT in Nigeria, internship, right?
Okay.
It's not. That's not that, but that's you're a student at law, and then you get called to getting that one. Another story, but someone spoke about me to someone, and I got a good place, and I had secondment to different place, but they had told me that they were not gonna retain.
you.
So you are back again. The search
Square
continues. So a friend of mine then told me about contract management. Oh, it's close to law. So I did contract management. Then I did contract management for like 3 years with Accenture, and then that was not law. And I was like, I still want to do law. I started, and I was back again searching. I had an amazing boss, and I told him,
And this was
is
after you were called to bar.
yes, ma.
Wow.
So I didn't get to do law until a few years after I got called, and then I was enjoying what I was doing, but that fulfillment that I still want to do law. So there was always something missing, even though I was working, it was good professionally. I still want to be more. I want to do more. So I didn't give up. But then you're always afraid of leaving the known to the
Yeah.
unknown. For
Yeah.
someone that has had so much delay, you'll be like, am I okay? I'm bringing money home, but that's not really what gives me joy.
Yeah. You
I
need
was going.
fulfillment.
You never like, oh, I like to talk to you. You're doing, you're very proactive. You get all the accolades, but it's not what I want. You must not give up what you want. Once, you must not. You must keep going for it. So law, I started searching. Fortunately, I found a job in a law firm.
Okay.
And I was doing something. I was supporting the lawyers, but I was called a type of lawyer, but not also reviewing it, but I was supporting the lawyers. But I was called a type of lawyer. Let me just put it that way.
Okay.
And then I did that. I was very good at it, but then I became bored again. And that's the thing about me. Once I've not seen that thing that gives me that, keeps my blood running, I'm thinking, I'll
You're
keep
still
searching.
there.
But then there's also always the fear of, would I find it? If I leave this one and go, is this the right step? There will always be voices, Feyi. But there'll be voices, negative voices. You must just listen to the voice of truth. Who are you? What do you really
What do you
want?
want?
Because there'll be voices in your head speaking to you. So it's not just people speaking down
Yeah.
on you. You yourself, you
Yourself,
can
yeah.
speak
Yeah.
bad about
Yeah.
yourself. So you
Yeah.
also need to conquer the inner. So I always have all those, the jammy. But beautifully for me, the external people, the people outside of
I was
me,
gonna go talk about
were
that.
speaking good to me. So my problem was not the external, like my support system.
It
But
was
then
you.
there was me inside me saying, Toyin, you have a job, you are going to do you know what you meet? You start from, there's always voices in your head. But then somehow I would struggle. And then I got this job. Then I became bored again and I wanted something else. And I got another job as a lawyer in-house.
Okay.
And then it was not easy. And now I found what I want, but the environment wasn't right.
Wow. What
So
was
I
it like? Tell us a little bit.
I got there and I felt I wasn't supported, and I was by myself, just like what you said, I had someone, we came in together. It was just like you were by yourself. And then, you just know when you're being abused, but in a subtle way.
Yeah.
But because I was
Passive.
desperate, Feyi, my husband would tell me, Toyin, you need to leave this job. I was not happy. I was working from home. I was flexible, but every time I have to carry my laptop, I was afraid because I don't know what I will meet. I would, Feyi, I will review
I've been there. I
a
know how you
clause
feel.
in an agreement over and over and over again. I would
Just
spend time
'cause-
just because I was doubting myself. I'd had so much coming to that point. I started building my confidence, and my confidence started going down again. But I was desperate. This is the type of law I want. I'm in-house. This is what, I'm not going to leave him. I was like, leave it. I'm like, no. But I had to. It was beginning to affect me. But nobody
And
would
the way
know.
that
And I
thing
was going
creeps
through,
into your health.
if people have known me in Calgary you will never know when I'm going through stuff.
Wow.
Not because I was being out of reality, but then I see people, they may be going through stuff, they carry it on their head. It's okay, we manage things, but then
Differently.
it's not going to help. I've
doesn't
always
do
been
anything.
someone that believes in, you have to be positive, positive, positive. You have to try to be positive no matter what you're going through. And then I started searching again. It took me,
But did you leave?
I did.
And then you didn't have a job at the time?
I didn't have a job. I was out of job I think by the time I got my current job, between that delay was like 4 to 6 months. People did not know. The only time people knew was when I was like, this job that I'm looking for, let me go on LinkedIn and look for help, because I would do interviews. In fact, there was one that was so painful. They held me for like 2.5 months.
Wow.
I was going through I did 4 rounds of interview. And then they still came back with a no. In fact, because of my friends that knew then, the day I told them that I got a no the night before, the next morning, one came from Southwest, South, whatever, somewhere in the South here. Another they came in the morning because they know how I really want, and I cried. In fact, I
Wow.
crowed.
Wow.
If there's what we used the wrong word,
I'm
but
getting goosebumps.
yeah, it was tough.
I know.
It was
and you
tough,
probably
and-
put everything into it.
But then through that process, the recent one, because I've had delays on the more recent one is the one we're speaking about. It was tough for me because I've had it stable for a while and then I'm out of job again. And I'm searching 4 months, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. And that particular one I was holding to was my hope because I lost confidence that period. In fact, there was a day my friend in Austin wanted to travel because my husband traveled, the kids had gone to school, I was home. I was so dejected. I started saying to myself, jokes, I'm not lying. I was in Yoruba, I was like, Toyin, shori ota e buru ni, loud. Like, why is this so hard for you? Are you cursed? What's going on? Why do you have a roller coaster? Why do you have a start, stop, start, stop, start, stop over this career? So I started packing those awards on the wall. I started packing them. So my friend called me. She would typically call to check up on me and the search. And she called me, she was like, what's going on? I was like, all these things are useless. I'm not this girl. It's a lie. I started saying negative words.
Wow.
And she was like, do I need to buy a ticket and start coming? Because Kole, that's my husband, is not around. The kids are not home. I don't want you to hurt yourself. I was sad. And I was wailing. Because I'm like, Kilo Shele, what's going on? Why should someone go through so much? So you have peace. You just like my friend said the other day, you have pockets of joy. And then I'm like, why? So I started pulling everything. She was like, okay. Just calm down. I put everything in a bag. I was going to put them in the storage and throw somewhere. Because, why? But we put those things on the wall because of our kids. To serve as inspiration that you can do it. That's the only reason. In fact, those things were in the storage for so long. And my husband was like, we need to bring this thing out. And just so my kids, my husband say, oh, you see, mommy can do it. You can do it. And my daughter says, my 40th birthday when she was talking, oh, my mom inspires me. I tell people my mommy went to Harvard Law School. If you listen to it was so inspiring that, oh, I'm doing something right. But, and I put everything down.
Wow.
But my daughter came back from school and, they look at it because it's just, why is your stuff? And I'm like, something. And I had to put it back in. It can get that
I know.
tough.
I know.
Can.
And that's why we are here. See, and I would like for you to tell us how you got to where you are right now. And you look like you're happy. I see you. Maybe when you're going up the elevator, you must enjoy the work that you do. When you sit down and I know she has a picture just like this, but wider, and she's dancing in front of it. But I just wanted to say something to somebody out there. You will go through, for some people, another thing is comparison. Like if you compare yourself with other people. And I know that it's not easy. Know that your journey is your journey. There'll be times that it will be tough. But sit down. What can I do? Is it what can I do differently? Or, how can I get myself better? How do I work? Is it my resume? Is it
What
this? I don't know what you
can
did.
I put in place?
So things will happen. I'm just saying, things will happen. Be prepared, right? But the point is, don't stay there.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going here. Keep doing something. How can I get better? Work at it. Now,
Yeah,
so
how did I get here? I had a delay for 4 months. I got disappointed from the big company I was looking up to. I kept going on. Maybe I applied for over 100 jobs. I got rejections. But something happened 2 years ago, February, and I was praying. I'm a woman of faith. I was praying. I was putting in the applications. I told people that could help me. If you have job opportunities in the legal field, I'm looking for a job opportunity. And then February,
2 years ago.
2 years ago, because this current job I am, next month, April 15th, I'll be 2 years.
Okay.
Just like that. Complaints started throwing interviews my way. I had like 6 people. In fact, my daughter would tell you, if you say, how is your mom? She say, mommy says she's tired, always talking. Feyi, the windows open. The rain started.
Did you do anything different?
I was just applying. I didn't give up. I was just applying. I was okay, and then interview skills. I kept improving because remember, my confidence had gone down. So I carried that fear in talking. I looked at so I kept looking at my resume. I kept looking at the job description, And every time I have to go for an interview, I don't sleep. It's like I'm studying for an academic. I would go through it. I would put questions down. I was doing a lot. I was doing that, and I was praying. And I started getting interviews. First time you go, but maybe this one will not call me back. And everything kept going. But this current place I am, the day I went in there and I did the interview, I got downstairs and I told my husband, this is the place. I'm a Christian and I believe in the Holy Spirit, having it, because I just felt that was the place.
Even though
there was peace about it, even though there were many bigger companies. In fact, my friends, they were like, no, this one, the name is not, this is where you should go. And I'm like, this is the place. Except they do not call me. Because when I got to that room, there was peace and God, and I had boldness. And I spoke like the Toyin of before. The Toyin. The Toyin that is bold, that is confident. And the place, they listened to me. It looked like I was making sense. So looking at them, seeing their reaction, I was like, there's still something here. I started building my confidence. Before then, other interviews were like that. So you must, those things, reassurance started coming.
Yep.
I started getting confidence boost. The second time they're going to come meet me, I was supposed to go downtown for the interview. They were like, where's the next coffee shop near you that they want to come? They came to meet me.
Nice.
I'm like, wow. That period, I started finding companies chasing me.
Wow.
It made me feel good again.
Yeah.
So there's still something there.
Yeah.
And
imagine that you had said, oh, this law is not for me anymore. Oh, I don't have,
there were
and
many
you had
times.
given up. Right? You got there and you're like, no, I'm not going to stop.
It was
and
tough.
one thing too that I think you probably did not know, I don't know, maybe it was subconscious. You got better with interviewing. You got better with maybe aligning your resume with what they were looking for. And this is, I think somebody said this on this, I was interviewing somebody recently and the person said, it's like the ego riding on the storm. Things are not happening right, but you're using that to get better.
yes,
Does that make sense what I'm saying? Lessons learned, you're using it to get better, to get to where you want to be.
Yeah, you get better through experiences of life. There are lessons. We must, as human beings, beyond what we're going through, beyond how we're feeling, we must ask ourselves, what am I learning in this season? I tell my friends now, I tell people that may be going through, there are seasons of life. And life is full of challenges. You must pick the lessons for whatever season you are and use that to go on and do your part. You're right. I was doing my part.
Yeah.
And that's how I got to where I am. And it's been beautiful where I am.
Wow. Wow.
For lack of words, it's been beautiful where I am. And sometimes God may push you out of a place. You think this is your comfort zone. For career people, you're in toxic place. Maybe you need to move. You don't want to move. You're afraid. And somehow, you leave the place. They let you go. And you feel that was the best. It may also be God taking you to the next level.
Oh, my God.
And that's the story of my life. It took a while.
Well, sometimes it takes looking back.
Yes,
to
I'm
even
at
see
peace.
that.
Every time, Feyi, I'm always reflecting. And the devil, also when you get what God wants to give you, the devil wants to remind you. Every time I was going to the office, when I'm holding my card, I'm like, hey, maybe they will bounce me for a couple of months.
Wow.
And the fact that my boss
Still
was
thinking
not...
you're not good enough.
Exactly. And my boss I'll ask her, what do you think? And she will say good things. And I'll be like, me. It took me a while to also still believe in myself. So whatever we're going through, beyond what, you may even get what you want, but you must fight the voices that want to speak negative to your mind. Because we may have all that we want, but if your mindset is wrong, you will not thrive.
Sure. And
the mind is a battlefield.
I'll just say this it just means do not get in your own way. Sometimes we're the ones in our way.
That's true.
We're the ones in our way. You need to speak. And the fact that you feel timid right now doesn't mean you're a timid person. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. hear her story. This is somebody who finished with a first class Harvard. Is it? Anyways, still battling with confidence. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. That's the point I'm making. I don't want to even tell my story now of confidence, whether it's in singing. I still battle with that one. Whether it's, speaking or anything. I spoke this week. I told you. Someone was telling me, Feyi, you speak really well. The way you pace, the way you do this. I'm like, I didn't, so I'm just, what am I saying? The fact that you're going through it right now, you can still from now think about it. How do I get better? And if you need people around you that you need to learn from, if there's somebody who knows how to do it well, reach out to them. You spoke about a community. Community is good. People who speak to you. And I always say this, God confidence, people confidence and self-confidence is what we always need. People who believe in you. Confidence in God. God always believes in you. We have it, right? But people around you
surround yourself with
who
are
tell
very
you,
important.
who cheer you on, right? I'm going to ask you one last question as we come to the end of this. So how has your experience in life shaped your definition of success?
So for me, sometimes we think success is black and white. This. And also going through everything, for me then success is, leaving school, wearing blazers, being the complaint secretary, being a partner in a law firm, that was it for me. But then my reality was not commensurate with what I had in mind. But then I have learned and I have grown and I'm better. Maybe if I had everything, I would not get to appreciate life. I'm a woman of gratitude now because I know where I'm coming from. Peradventure, if I'd gotten everything on a easily, I may not have grown this way. I've learned patience. I've learned waiting. I've learned how to be joyful whilst waiting. Very, very important. To be waiting in your waiting season, to still be positive minded and joyful. I am a woman of joy now, that no matter what happens, I'm going to stay joyful. And I've learned that the job that I get, whether I get a job or not, whether I'm a lawyer or not, it doesn't define me. I am who I am. I am Oluwatoyin. I am the happy child. And I believe that happiness is a journey, not a destination. And through the process, find things that make you happy. Lean on whoever you need to lean on. Keep doing what you're doing, because once you're here, there's no success. That's it. Not one clear definition. Every time you achieve any win, it's your success. Celebrate your wins.
I was going to say something as well. I lost it at that time when you had kids, you had a family, it's point I'm making. And it's easy to focus on that thing that's not working. But if you take a step back and say, okay, even the kids that I have, some people don't. Even the husband that I have, those things, what am I saying? Focus on the positives. It doesn't mean you leave the negative and not work on it. But try to be grateful. Like you said, you've grown.
We can be overwhelmed with what you want. My mom used to say what you said. Toyin, you're doing well. And those things helped. And those could be your success.
This could be success. So
it's not one thing.
I like it. So it's not success is not just one thing. It could be anything. Just look around. What are you grateful for? What can I be grateful for? My life. If you're alive, you can still be a lawyer. You can still be a doctor. Anything. Do whatever you want to do. So with that, I hope you guys have picked one or two things. In fact, if it's just one thing that you picked away that will work for you today. Why I like this story is, this is a high achiever, high everything, and she still battled with confidence. Anybody can battle with anything is the point I'm making. But know that it doesn't define you. It's not who you are. You can be anywhere and anything you want to be. Remember that. Thank you so much, Toyin, for joining us. I have enjoyed this and I have learned a lot. As I'm speaking, I'm learning as well.
That's true.
I mean, as I'm, relating to them, there's lots to learn from your story, and we appreciate you we do not take your time for granted. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's been beautiful being here.
Thank you so much to my people out there. Thank you for staying till the end. And we would say, please like, subscribe. Please subscribe, share, add a comment, say something. Let us get to know you. Until another episode.